Good afternoon. My name is Megan Edwards of Focus Communications, and today we're getting another company update from Trigon Metals, which trades on the Toronto Venture Stock Exchange under the symbol TM. And joining me today, we have President and CEO Jed Richardson. Jed, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Megan.
Jed, to start things off, could you please give our listeners a bit of an introduction to Trigon Metals?
Sure. So Trigon is obviously copper focused. We've got a mine in Namibia, in the Kombat Mine, where we produce copper with some byproduct silver. We also are exploring a copper silver cobalt project called Silver Hill in Morocco. We recently closed a major transaction in our we've sold our silver stream, and that has brought in $37.5 million, which gives us the capital to develop our open pit and underground operations at Kombat and bring that asset back into production.
Right. And yesterday, the company announced new high-grade drill results from Trigon's Kombat Mine in Namibia. Could you run us through the results from the press release?
Yeah, sure. So we're in the Otavi Mountains in what I call northern Namibia. We're working on a 35-kilometer trend of mineralization, but we're focused in the center of this area where the Kombat Mine is. The results that we announced this week were 3 holes. These are holes in areas where we'll be mining from open pit. The first hole, Sen East 00, it was 19 meters at about 1.2%, starting at 64 meters down, with an area of 3 meters of 3% copper, with almost 12 grams per ton of silver. We also intercepted in hole V1. This is a verification hole, that about 7 meters at 2.2% copper, with 27 grams per ton of silver at about 56 meters down. But I think kind of the show stealer in the results was our verification hole 3, which intercepted 47 meters at 1.2% copper, 5.3 grams per ton of silver. And this is starting at 28 meters, so quite shallow. This is probably one of the longest continuous holes that we've drilled on the property. The work that we're doing here, what we're looking for is a higher grade resource for us to be mining from when we start up early next year. The holes were, I'll just kind of circle on the map where we were. Mm-hmm. So Sen East is in this Kavango pit area, and this filled in an area that we had previously assumed was a void in our mineralization. So that hole was actually quite significant at 19 meters and over our 1.2% grade. That it looks like it's what we thought was a void is more like a wrinkle in the mineralization. The verification hole 1 and 3 are up here around East 400. Now we had some mineralization that we had seen on either side of this area, but we drilled in between those holes, and like I just noted, ended up with one of the longest intersections that we've intercepted. But for our investors and for those who are looking on, what's really important here is that we're drilling consistently sulfide mineralization. Mm-hmm. That was one of the challenges that we had in the central pit, and that it's like contiguous bodies. We're not looking at small veinlets. We're getting nice tabular pieces. It'll be a lot easier for grade control, a lot easier to operate at a lower operating costs, and that's really the goal of this program, and it's playing out that way.
And you mentioned this just a few minutes ago, that one result particularly stood out was the near surface 47-meter intercept, which is a much larger zone of mineralization than what we've previously seen from the company. So is this an isolated thicker zone, or do you see the potential of stringing together some thicker mineralization in this area of Kombat?
So it is, what's really interesting here, so this is the hole here, is Generally, what we're looking for is lenses of mineralization. So this looks like we've got quite a large lens, or maybe the merging of a couple of lenses, right? So yeah, there's potential for that that there being more. What it's exciting about for me is in having this type of contiguous body, then there's an opportunity for us to maybe mine more from open pit than we had originally anticipated. If we've got larger bodies coming together to depth, then it reduces the strip ratio to go deeper in the open pit, which would be great. Because from the open pit, we can actually we can mine more. Our cutoff grade, the average grade we're targeting is 1.2% from the open pit versus the 2.6 to 3 that we're targeting underground. So the more we can do from open pit, the more mineralization we can take in. To me, that's what's really valuable about having this like larger contiguous bodies like this.
And from a mining perspective, can you discuss the potential economic implications of this area is tying together the Kombat trend?
Not in hard, fast numbers. It's in line with our goals, right? So our goal is having that 1.2% grade, having material mineable from surface, having it being sulfide, and the fact that it's wider width. So we're looking at operating costs coming down to around $2.60 was our target, right? We've got a couple of things working in our favor now. So yeah, that the bodies are larger, that'll give us an opportunity to bring the cost down. Another is, we've mapped this all out looking at a Namibian dollar to US dollar exchange rate back in June. And that was the Namibian dollars dropped like 15 to 20% since then, right? So that also gives us another boost where we can hit that goal, or perhaps do better with our operating costs all from the open pit.
And lastly, these all look to be shallow holes in this release. How deep is this deposit?
We actually have an operating shaft on site that goes down 750 meters, and mineralization we know in this area goes down in excess of 800 meters. So the history of this mine was an underground mine, and that's where we actually expect to see the best grades. How far that goes, we could go down a kilometer, but the target in this drilling was open pit, and that's why you've seen these shallow holes. So seeing the shallow holes is just bearing out the thesis, right? So that's what our vision of success. But as far as depth, this is going to be a much larger project.
Thank you so much for being here, Jed. Before we go, is there anything else you would like to leave with our audience?
Just stay tuned. We're continuing to drill. We'll keep on putting results out. We've got the work that we're doing, of course, in Kombat, but we're queuing up work as well in Morocco from our Silver Hill project, which I think will add a lot of excitement.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing more from Trigon and the Kombat Mine in the months to come. Thank you so much, Jed. Have a great day.
No, thanks, Megan.